Now, let's dive into crafting a strategic roadmap. We'll guide you through the steps on where to get started and set your project on the path to success. Over to our experts to answer the questions.
Eudes, I have a question. What are the essential steps involved in creating a roadmap for SAP Enterprise Product Development implementation?
It's very important to have a structured approach to implement EPD. What's very important is to have tools and a methodology to help them to achieve that. But talking about the methodology, which is very important, right? This is structured approach. The customers, they can decide the methodology they want to use, basically, but we recommend our methodology, which is called the SAP Activate, right? Basically, the SAP Activate methodology brings a bunch of tools and templates to really, you know exactly what to do in every single step of the way, right? First phase, it's the prepare, right? Where you assemble the team and you start to plan the whole implementation. Then you go to the next is the explore phase, where you basically start to design the solution, but not really design like a blueprinting. We have, these workshops to show the customers what is the solution and what's the value that they can get from that solution, right? And they can identify the fit gap. We call it the fit gap workshops, right? The fit gap analysis. And after we have identified the gaps, right? After we have agreed with the gaps, we go to the next phase, which is the realize phase, where we start to really build the solution and configure the solution, and even, if necessary, extend the solution, right? Based on these gaps that we mentioned before. After that, we have the deploy phase, which basically it's how to bring the system productive, right? How can you really bring the system to be available to the end users, right? We perform the cutover, we make sure that data migration is done properly, and the system is live. And the last phase is the run phase, which also is called sometimes the hypercare, which basically we make sure that the system is up and running smoothly, and if there is any problem along the way, we are there to help our customer.
Ayan, so we now just got some insights about the SAP Activate methodology. Nevertheless, we are also eager to know about what factors should be considered when defining milestones, timelines, and deliverables in the implementation roadmap.
Daniel, when we are crafting that roadmap for a particular customer for their entire PLM process, it's like this. First, we are listing out what we need to do, how long it's going to take, and what we are going to hand over in the end. We are also digging into their existing processes and what challenges they have got. Then we have got to consider what the customer really needs, prioritize them accordingly, what resources we have got, who is depending on us, evaluating the potential risks. We also draw on our past experiences with other customers to find the best ways to do things, like coming up with some best practices, advise and recommend certain areas which will improve their business processes. And all this while, we are always keeping everyone in the loop, keeping an eye on how it's going, and being ready to change things up if need be. Being adaptable is the key to success.